Hi Yen friends, and welcome to a quick little Yen sequence to wake up your feet and boost your immunity. So I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new to Yen, this is a nice practice to balance any busy lifestyle or exercise routine, as it works to help us be still physically, mentally, and spiritually. So take this time for yourself. You will not regret it. We are going to start in child's pose today. So when you're ready, make your way there. It is often nice to have props to support you in the Yen practice. So if you'd like to have a little cushion for your knees, blanket's a nice situation there for extra support. I like to also take a bolster beneath my torso just to give myself a place to land. Sometimes we may not need the physical prop for our bodies, but more so for our minds or something that we might be dealing with energetically. So if you need support, utilize it. As you come down, allow everything to release. The arms can stretch forward, reach back, whatever you feel like is best for you today. And just deepen your breath here. So nice long inhales, complete exhales. Each breath drawing you into the moment that you're in, the space around you, beneath you, within you. The breath works to anchor us, to cleanse us and support us. Setting an intention to accompany your breath if you'd like, a word, a phrase, a thought, a feeling, something that will meet your needs today. Spending a few more moments here in stillness with yourself. Let's take one more breath here. And sigh it out of the mouth if you'd like. And then begin to gently pick yourself up, making your way into a table position. So you can slide your props to the side and actually close to the back of the mat. Block, bolster, anything you'd like to have. Knees can still rest on your blanket if you'd like. As you come into your table, just begin to move in any gentle way that feels supportive for your spine. Linking your breath in with movement. You can eventually transition to a brief downward facing dog here, maybe pivoting onto the feet, pedaling them out. And eventually we'll tap the knees to the earth, keeping the toes tucked under. We're going to begin to walk the hands back toward the knees, sitting our weight downward toward the heels as you drop the hips. You can stay right here. If you start to feel quite a bit, pause. Don't feel like you have to rush past any sensation. If you're ready to go a little bit further, not quite feeling the pose yet, you can walk the hands up the thighs, adding a little more weight as the hips settle and the torso elevates. And just settle into your toe squat here, checking in on those pinky toes. They tend to be the rebels of the bunch, so make sure they're tucked under also. And sitting up tall, if you are all the way upright, instead of slumping in the spine, see if you can keep that nice long spine here. Encourage that breath to move as deep, as long, and as wide as possible. Instead of feeling like you need to resist the growing sensation in your feet, see if you can lean into that discomfort and deepen your breath, your anchor into this moment, even as you keep feeling more by the second. Notice how your breath calms, nourishes, and supports you. How it brings you back to your intention. Feet do so much for us as we go through our days, so we can feel a lot in these positions. Do the hard work of being with that sensation, settling into it, encouraging the blood flow to move into the feet, waking up that tired, cranky energy that sometimes resides in the feet. As long as there's nothing sharp or shooting happening in terms of sensation, you're doing good work for your body, strengthening the ankles, stressing and revitalizing, if that's even a word, the joints of the feet. Encouraging the arches to be strong and agile. Soften the muscles of the face and encourage those deep breaths to move downward to send that fresh oxygen, that blood flow into the feet. You want just a bit more sensation for these last few breaths. Inch your knees forward, deepening the angle through the front of the feet. Pressure into the toes. You're ready, we'll walk the hands forward. Gently uncurl the toes, probably going to feel a lot on the exit. You can roll out the ankles, stretch out the toes, maybe pat the feet fairly vibrantly on the mat. Help release. Once you feel a little better, we're going to curl the toes under gently, begin to lift back up into our downward facing dog here. Letting the heels rest toward the earth. Let's take a cleansing breath here, inhaling in, and stick the tongue out, let it go. We'll walk the hands now back toward the feet and bend at the knees to support that transition. Widen the feet about hips distance, maybe slightly wider, and then have your props handy. So bolster, maybe block, something of the kind beneath you. Rise up about halfway, just kind of getting your bearings, looking forward, breathing. Stay here for your exhale. We'll take one more inhale. And as you exhale, just begin to find a forward fold. So letting the weight of the head go. The neck lengthens out here. You can bend into the knees if your low back is cranky. Otherwise, it's fine to round through the upper back and let the head just hang and dangle. And just pay attention to sensation here. So you can always back out, coming back into that halfway lift. Sometimes that is plenty for us. This pose here helps to move us into a gentle inversion, which stimulates the lymphatic system to get going, which moves from our feet toward our necks. So we're not usually oriented in this way, so it can be a lot, but it can be really, really beneficial. Especially if you're feeling a lot of stagnant, tired energy. As you breathe here, just direct that breath into all of those spaces that feel like they could use a little wake-up call. Letting the shoulders just sink toward the earth. Notice if you're gripping with the fingers or the toes, see if you can soften that grip. Finding your anchor here as you breathe, your intention moves in and out. Filtering through you with each breath. Perhaps those breaths are growing a little bit longer with each round, sort of challenging the lobes of the lungs that we tend to dwell in throughout the day. And see if you can find the ones that you don't normally access as you just go through your day. See if you can find those little pockets of space that you can breathe deeper into. You're in your last minute here. Releasing any last layers of resistance. Allowing not just the body, but also the mind and the heart to surrender here. Be in this moment. When you're ready, unravel the arms, gently rise up about halfway. Stay for an exhale. You can pivot the toes out here, the heels stay in. Maybe placing your block just behind your heels as you come down into a squat position. As you come into your squat, you can of course go without a prop beneath the hips, but it might be nice to feel that sense of connection in this pose. Arms might open wide or come into heart center. Just allowing the head to now be up above the heart. Taking a moment just to feel the rebound effects of that inversion. Noticing the lightness that's there. The awareness that you've built. Settle into this pose for just a bit longer, so finding a variation that speaks to you. If you would like to change it up, you're welcome to. 3 more of your deepest breaths. From here, we'll just set our props to the side, whichever side you prefer. And begin to make your way to a seated position. Inch your way forward on the mat, so you've got lots of space behind you. And then have any props handy you'd like to utilize for your supported bridge pose. So I'm going to use a bolster and a block today. And then come down onto your back, bending the knees so the heels walking close to the hips. And we'll begin to press into the feet, lifting the hips up off of the floor, sliding 1 or 2 props, whatever feels more appropriate for you. Maybe you start lower and you add more over time, as I'm planning to do. But allow the full weight of the pelvis to release into the prop. Feel wobbly, readjust until you feel totally secure. And then allow the body to take up space, maybe arms wide, legs forward if that is comfortable and accessible for you. Whatever feels a little better. Taking as much of the effort out of this as is possible. Noticing the shift in your energy and your physical sensations as we now move into a more open position. Reconnecting back with your breath, which anchors you into this new moment. Adding on if you'd like to, otherwise stay exactly as you are. Stay in your pose, or if you want to transition to a variation of legs up the wall, make sure your hips are feeling settled. The most secure way to do this is to lower down to the lowest level of your props. If you feel really secure where you are, you can stay. We'll begin to guide one knee into the chest and then the other knee will follow, just kind of working on elevating the legs and shifting your weight. You can stay here or work the legs towards straight, up toward the ceiling. And letting the bowl of the pelvis just kind of tilt in towards you a bit. The feet are relaxed here. You can stay with the legs still, or if you want to roll out the ankles, feeling out that new space that you've generated in your feet today. You can turn the legs slightly, just kind of rotating them around so the femurs rotate in the hip socket. You can do that slowly or a little quicker, just encouraging that lymphatic movement. Eventually, just landing into stillness wherever you are, even if you're still in your bridge pose, taking about 3 more breaths. Eventually bending at the knees, dropping the feet to the earth. Removing your props as you gently lift the hips. As you come down, do so nice and slow, 1 vertebrae at a time, feeling that connection along the way. Taking any final posture you need, eventually finding a moment for rest here at the end of our practice. Letting everything just return to neutral and take a moment here to feel and observe the space. Again, to invite gentle movement back to the body, curling in fingers, rolling out the ankles, stretching the toes. Maybe dropping the head gently side to side. Taking your arms up and overhead to breathe in and sigh it out. Bending at the knees, begin to drop your weight over to one side. Taking a moment here to pause and reflect on the shifts you feel. Eventually pressing your way up to a comfortable seat at the top. Guiding palms together at the heart when you arrive. Feeling those internal rhythms, the heart beating, the breath flowing, supporting you here. As they'll continue to do so as you go into your day as a sweet reminder of your practice, this feeling, the fact that you're here. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, for sharing your practice with me today, and I would appreciate your comments and feedback. If you'd like to share anything, any thoughts, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Be sure to hit like and subscribe so you get notified of future videos.